Today's writing was called Rewriting History, and it begins thusly. Recently, the governor of Illinois signed a bill into law mandating that public schools now teach homosexual history. That's right. I will not go down the rabbit trail of LGBT, whatever it is. It's homosexuality. Therefore, it's homosexual history. As one can expect from a jelly-spine church still suffering from the meat sweats due to the last successful potluck, there has been very little pushback or uproar. It is a foregone conclusion that this faux history will be painted in the best possible light. And by the time they're done putting together the curriculum, you'll likely discover that it was someone in the homosexual community who discovered everything from the cure to polio to electricity to the combustible engine. It will not be a teaching of history as much as a rewriting of history. How far back will they go? Will the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah be included in the lesson plan? Somehow, I highly doubt it. Will the correlation between the homosexual lifestyle and the spread of AIDS be made clear? Again, highly doubtful. What this law is intended to do is not to teach history, but to normalize an abomination. It is not to highlight accomplishments made by those with specific proclivities, but to conclude that save for the homosexual community, we would still be drawing stick figures on walls of caves and cooking our meat on hot rocks in the midday sun. Whenever a society normalizes the aberrant, there is always something more aberrant waiting in the wings to be normalized. And keep that in mind. Whenever a society normalizes the aberrant, there is always something more aberrant waiting in the wings to be normalized. This particular sentence dovetails into what we're going to get into, and the thing that, quite frankly, disgusted, shocked me, but didn't surprise me, because I know the nature of evil, and you should too. I know that evil doesn't stop. It doesn't say, "Hey, we've done so much to attempt the destruction of morality, family, decency, and everything else. Maybe we should take a break." No. Full throttle, pedal to the metal, continuous, non-stop attempt at destroying civilization. That is what evil does. But let's continue with this article. What this law is intended to do is to teach history, is not to teach history, but to normalize abomination. I've said it before, and I will say it again. To say that this is an exaggeration is a non-starter, because we have seen it play out in real time over the past few years. We went from normalizing homosexuality to normalizing transgenderism to lobbying for the age of consent to be lowered to 10. Then we went to branding parents who have a problem with their preteen daughters seeing fully grown men in wigs in the girls' bathroom as bigoted. Every news story that paints the sexually aberrant in a negative light gets squashed instantly. And so we never hear of little girls getting assaulted in public bathrooms, grown men exposing themselves to children not old enough to understand what is happening, or old men grooming teenage boys to be their playthings. Nothing to see here. Move along and keep your mouth shut. If you want to talk about it, you guessed it, you're a bigot. Nobody wants to have an honest conversation, because the perverts and the pederasts have become a protected class. And we are sacrificing our children's innocence on the altar of inclusivity and tolerance. Look, they're already teaching children who should have no other concern than whether or not the fireflies they caught in the mason jar will survive the night about anal intercourse and oral copulation. And I know there are some people right now hearing my words that are clutching their pearls, as it were, and looking for a fainting couch. But this is what they're teaching children. Look, if we're too demure to speak the truth, if we're too demure to actually expose what these people are doing, we are never going to win this battle. Understand this. I don't use these words for shock value. I use these words because this is what they are teaching children. Children who should have the whole of their innocence. Children too young to comprehend or perceive what they're being taught in school. How much